This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to People Tech. This is the podcast, or the video version of the podcast, from workforceai.news. I'm Mark Pfeffer, and with me today are two colleagues, William Tincup and Ryan Leary, who created and run the WRKDefined podcast network. William, Ryan, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
You got the thumbs up from William.
That's all I wanted. We're done. Thank you. Good to see everybody. I wanted to talk about AI, which I'm sure is a big surprise, but everybody in the world knows that it's being hyped. Everybody knows in the world, every vendor is talking about it and pushing what they're supposedly doing that's brand new. What do you guys think is going on out there? I mean, what's the reality? William, you want to start?
Sure. You hit it with there, talking about it. And the there and the there is vendors and analysts, consultants, and all the people that would like for that to be a bigger thing than it is. When you start hearing practitioners talk about AI, you'll know that you'll have reached a certain adoption of AI. We haven't reached adoption. We're not even talking about AI adoption, quite frankly. Like, no one's really leading a charge on getting past SaaS adoption and getting to AI adoption, which is actually getting people to use the tools. So we're not great at using the tools that are SaaS-based or even on-prem based. If you want to go even further back, there's 1,000 features and we use 4. Okay, so there's an adoption problem. With AI, it's a hype and adoption problem at the current moment. And again, if you see the CHRO of Walmart come out and say, okay, this is how we're using AI, okay, you can trust that. Like, that's a thing. Right now, we're still in the hype cycle. Right. And you went through machine learning to AI, then generative AI, and then agentic AI. So you got all of these things that basically are not really being adopted at the level and at the rate in which everyone outside of practitioners would like for it to be adopted.
And do practitioners care?
No.
I mean, don't they really just care about what happens?
It's not whether or not they do care, it's whether or not they should care. And the question is, they should not care.
Yeah, I don't think they care. I think they do care. Some of them care, not the majority. But I agree with William, they should not care. They should just do the work, leverage whatever is given, and understand what the output is. But personal time and what they're, I think they care a lot. I know I care.
Yeah.
And not just because of work. I care how I use it and what it's doing for me.
Well, we've seen data that actually supports what you're saying, where personally they are using ChatGPT and other tools like that. Yep. They are using AI. At work, when I say they shouldn't care, they should care about regulatory, privacy, security, bias. Like, they should care about the things that all HR practitioners care about. So they should care about those things for sure. Ask those questions, make sure that those things are being done, but really caring about the output of AI. So what is it actually doing? Is it automating? Is it augmenting? What is it doing to the output? And in that, they should care about the output of anything, any software that touches a process or people.
Well, what you were just saying about they should care about security and that kind of thing.
Right.
They should care about that anyway, shouldn't
100%,
they?
100%. And they do. I mean, since adoption of on-prem software and SaaS software, they do care about privacy and security and those types of things. And they have people in place, both on the technical side, to make sure it does what it's supposed to do, and it can't be penetrated and all that type of stuff. So They've cared for that for a long time. That's not like a new thing. They've always cared about that stuff. So
One of the, and I don't, Mark, you might want to talk about this later. I think there's a confusion in the workplace on how to use AI, meaning, am I supposed to make a decision based off of what it's telling me? Or am I just supposed to put stuff in and use it as an assistant, in recruiting, for example, use recruiting as an easy example. Is it just looking at resumes for me and matching? Or am I actually making a hiring decision based off of what it's saying? Do I need to be involved in resume matching still, like as a recruiter or a recruiting manager? Or is it going to do it for me? And then I just need to pull the trigger and make the decision. I think there's still a confusion there.
Well, which makes me wonder, what does it do anyway, besides sift through a lot of data, but besides speeding things up? It's really not helping you make any decisions or anything like that, is it?
it can.
Yeah,
The promise of it now, I think of that Deloitte report, Ryan, that we looked at 100 years ago, that there's a quote in there that with AI, we're in the first inning of a 1,000-inning game.
yeah,
And I think that's a really good way of thinking about. We're not just dealing with, a toddler in AI. We're dealing with like not even conception of its age. And so I think the way that you framed it up for Ryan, should we be trusting its recommendation? We should trust, and then we should verify, like Reagan said. We should be doing those things. Should we just take? And in fact, it even says, Ron, I know you know this. And at the
it says it all the time. Yeah,
it says it at the bottom of the time. Hey, check the facts on this.
I'm not gonna lie. I use it as a legal disclaimer. I'm like, yeah, you gave me the answer. I'm good with that.
100%. Just,
Mhm.
but the thing is, they should be very. So if an organization is using it the right way that Ryan's talking about, which is matching, resume versus job description, and it's matching, and then maybe it's even ranking. We see a lot of those types of tools that are using AI to do that bit, and that's been around for 3 or 4 years now. So that's not new. It's then trusting that whatever scored 92% is better than the one that was scored at 87%. A human still got to actually be involved in that process. And so I think what AI makes us really kind of contend with is, where's the moment of human inflection? Where do you put the human? And Ryan's using an application that's out of HR Tech right now that I like, because it's human on the front end, AI in the middle, and human on the back end.
And human on the back end.
Yeah.
Which has actually worked out pretty well. We did it might have been one of our BARF episodes. One of the previous episodes we were talking about similar to this, like what is AI, what is not, who's using versus what's not, like what's fake use of AI.
Yeah.
And I made a list, and I never actually shared it but I made a list because I was like, well, where does this really fall? And what I came up with was, if people that say they're using AI, and we just did a webinar or live stream on this the other day, and it got me thinking with a bunch of the comments. So people think they're using, recruiters, I'll say recruiters, think they're using AI, but they're really just keyword matching. They're using it for auto replying on emails or chatbots, right? Uploading a job rec and then getting a list back of resumes. It's not really AI. It's ranked and it's scored, but it's usually based off of a criteria. It's not necessarily learning on past behaviors and this was a great resume you gave me, so now I learned what to do with it. And
it gets worse, because you've got candidate applications that are AI that submit jobs based on the person's resume and the job description to make it a better match. Regardless, I was about to say irregardless, but that's not a word. Regardless.
We've been down this path before, Mark. Like, he likes to use the comma in the wrong spots too.
That's right. All the time.
Let's use the Oxford comma.
It's just a pause. That's all it is. So, but the thing
I
is,
judge people who use the Oxford comma.
you should.
As you should.
But the thing is it's again, it's one of those deals like, okay, where do we put the human in that exchange?
Mhm.
And can we trust the stuff that's coming through as candidates? Because how far have they drifted away from the candidate's real capabilities
Mm.
just to do the match? Like if you're asking AI to match this to this, it's going to match it this to this.
Mhm.
Now, can you do the things that it just said you could do? Probably not.
Probably not, but they couldn't do that before either.
I don't
So
disagree. Don't
it's
disagree.
just a new way.
Right.
But on the flip side to that, Mark, you might have a thought on this as well. I don't have a problem with candidates using
Nor do I.
AI to build their resume because they may not actually know they have that skill.
Right.
Right? How many times have you used, something as basic as a chat GPT and you've given it some information and it spits something back out to you and you're like,
Yeah.
shit, yeah, actually, I am really good at that, or I do get that. And you really actually do, you just never thought of it. Right. So I don't think there's a problem with that. I think
No.
the recruiting tech needs to be a bit smarter, or maybe the recruiting tech actually needs to create the job seeker tech as well.
Well, it's always interesting the way when there's a technology, the employers use it, but then get upset when the candidates use it, and which is what seems to be going on here. I can see where there's a danger if the candidate's AI is talking to the employer's AI and a person doesn't get involved until the very last moment.
Well, I think the way that employers combat that is asking probative questions of the candidates. So let's say it's 100% match, then using actual bots to then go, hey, you said you have this experience, whatever it is. Let's say it's software and it's JScript. Okay, so you have JScript. Do you also have Ajax experience? Okay, cool. How many years did you do that? Was it on like one project and you went really deep, or was it on multiple projects and so you got to see a lot of it? So I think technology can kind of sift that stuff out
Mm-hmm.
to then get down and narrow, and that doesn't need to be a human. I think that you can use automation, and in this case, conversational bots, to then be able to really sort and make sure that you have a good match. And then again, at that point, depending on, Ryan, did you get yours down to 10 interviews, or was it 3? Like, what was your magic number when you were recruiting?
Oh, we would do 3, slate of 3.
Slate of 3.
Yeah.
So,
Which that may have changed over the last 15 years.
100%. But there's a magic number for every recruiter
Mm-hmm.
and a hiring manager that basically you get it down to that. And now the human gets on and looks at the transcript of all of those things that have happened and gone, okay, I know what they're good at, what they're not good at. Let me validate.
It seems like there's a lot of talk out there, a lot of people, mostly on the employer side and probably the vendor side, who are always thinking about this in terms of replacing people. They say they're not thinking about that, but I don't believe them. What do you think? I mean, is in something like high volume recruiting, can you see in the relatively near term something where an employer is just sort of letting the app go crazy on all the applications they get, and then basically saying to somebody, okay, show up at this store on this date, tells the manager this one's coming in on this date, and the people don't actually meet, until the first day of work?
I don't think I'll jump in here. I don't think high volume recruiting has ever really been done great, even for companies that master it, right? Like call centers where they hire 50 people a week into a call center and 20 people show up. That's not a great rate. And it's always been chalked up to, well, that's just the business. That's the nature of call center business. It was 25 years ago. Is it today? Probably not. Maybe it is, but that's not going to be the case, because Mark, what you're saying is true. There's going to be the new process where it's high volume recruiting to a level of, we're going to vet these people, we're going to onboard these people, we're going to do everything and walk them into the company, and there'll be a human involved. I think there definitely needs to be a human involved, but I don't think there needs to be a human. Personally, I don't think there needs to be a human involved up until the point they're ready to say yes in a lot of these high volume situations. And I know people are going to debate that, and that's fine, because I could see where there's value for a human in multiple parts of this. But if we truly want to leverage the AI in recruiting in high volume, it's not just filtering, matching resumes, getting them into a call center, or pick, another high volume situation. That's totally fine. It's also the managers and recruiters on the back end of that. Once the people are successful, they've been hired, they've actually shown up, they've done really well over whatever that criteria is, feeding that back into the system, teaching the system, and then allowing the system, the AI, to continue to do the recruiting better and better. And at some point, we don't need the recruiters to sit there and screen 400 resumes. We need them to onboard 50 solid people so that they stay, and 40 out of the 50 stay instead of 25 or 20.
So, Mark, to answer that question a different way, because Ryan's usually wrong, is
Usually.
there's already tech that does that. So you're not talking about something that's dystopian and so far in the future. 4 years ago, I won't name the firm, but I'm an advisor to it. They already do that.
Yeah.
All the way to they never talk to a human. They show up at a store.
Mm-hmm.
They use a QR code to it ask him a series of questions and availability, and oddly enough, also commute time. So like what their commuting preferences are and things like that. So it takes them through a battery of that type of stuff. And it's like, what store do you want to work at? Great, there's an opening. Would you like to have your first shift on Monday? And they never talk to a human being.
Right.
So the question that you're underneath the question, the one that you said at first is this going to replace people? Yes, we won't have more people making horse and buggies. We will have less people making horse and buggies.
Yeah.
So that's every time there's a technology shift, humans get new jobs, right? And so they'll morph. It's not like we're going to be, oh my God, humans don't have anything to do now. That's not going to happen. It's the ability of like, okay, can that human be agile enough to then change to whatever the new role is? When robotics was first introduced to the automotive industry, same thing. All the unions uproar, right? Oh my God, it's going to take all the jobs. No, it's not. It's going to change the job. Now those people have to learn how to manage robotics, how to look at a screen and make sure that they're doing, how to do quality control. Like it just creates a different set of jobs, maybe with a different set of skills. So that.
But does it create an equal number of jobs? I mean, with all of the push on efficiency and such, you can see the number of jobs being reduced.
To be determined.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ryan and I, again, we read a story this week, and it was about how CEOs are celebrating the attrition.
Yep.
And so that's not a great indicator, because they're all looking at this very popular company in the Bay Area that has a revenue to employee number that's in the millions. And so everyone's looking at that model. Silicon Valley, Wall Street, everyone's looking at that model going, yeah, we want more firms like that. Drive down labor costs. Okay, well, you're going to spend that money, some of that money in technology, maybe not an equal amount to labor, but you're going to invest that money in technology. But technology doesn't take breaks. It doesn't have a union. It works 24/7. There's no holidays for robots. So there is an efficiency gain, but I think it does create maybe not the equal amount, but better jobs. So, but you got to take that on instead of getting butthurt over it. You got to take that on and say, oh, okay, well, I get to learn something new. And change is, no one likes change. And somebody that's been working in a manufacturing environment for 30 years, doing the job and understanding all the little components of that job, and all of a sudden someone says, yeah, okay, yeah, all that, yeah, we're going to replace that with robots. We'll train you to do this other job. You either take that as a moment of excitement and go, cool, can't wait to learn something new, or you say, that's a threat, I hate it, and I'm not going to do it. That's a choice. That's a human choice.
What people tend not to get into, though, is in what you just described, is they say you'll be doing another job, but they don't seem to have an idea of what that other job is.
There's a lack of training, and because that's moving so fast, they don't have training and development set up. to where they're training the people to be excited about that next thing, nor what is the next thing, to your point. What exactly is the next thing?
We don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah. Do we need to know? I mean,
No.
like, are we overthinking this at this point?
We are. We don't need to know. What we need to
Yeah.
know is, at the time, be training them on agility, be training them on how to deal with ambiguity, how to look at data, how to do all these other things, these things that they didn't have time. Again, take that manufacturing environment. For the last 30 years, that person hasn't had time to learn all this other stuff.
Mhm.
So we now have a wonderful time if the company cares enough to not lay them off, but to actually go and train them and to be ready for whatever's the next thing is. And Ryan, you're right. It might not be one thing. It might be that thing to the next thing.
Right.
It might be a movable job and skills that go with that.
We're managing supply and demand of skills at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's a rough dynamic when you've got executives looking for ways to reduce the size of their workforce.
Oh, it's totally in conflict. They want to reduce the size of the head count because it makes their, again, revenue to employee number look better, which makes them look better.
Right.
Yeah, but that's been that way throughout the course of history. It's always
100%.
been that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
There's nothing different here. It just feels a little scarier.
It does.
But it's the same thing with every generation that's been through it. It's always been scary.
Well, Mark. You lived in the newspaper era when the internet
I thought he was
first.
calling back the cavemen.
Close. I need something. I need something to warm me up. Anyhow.
When I was a boy, there was this MS-DOS.
So
command prompts.
Go back to when the internet first hit classifieds.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like we lived through that whole era of, like, there was an entire business, a lot of money being made, all this stuff, and just classified ads. I mean, if you were in a major newspaper and you ran classifieds, you were making bank.
I used to work for the Yellow Pages, selling ads in the Yellow Pages. I loved it.
That's all
Absolutely
gone.
love that job.
That's all gone. There's no such
They're
thing
still
anymore.
around. They're just not in the same book.
Right. But my point is those jobs changed. Some folks adapted and some folks didn't.
Right. Toys R Us did not adapt to anything.
Toys R Us pissed off. I read a story about
Amazon.
This. They pissed off Amazon.
Yeah.
Wrong group. I teach my boys this. Whenever you walk into a bar, there are people to fuck with and people not to fuck with. And you got to be able to quickly recognize who should not be fucked with.
Yeah. I mean, that was Toys R Us was a series of decisions that took them down.
Right.
But ultimately, it was one philosophy, one thought that said no.
Yeah.
And then the rest of those decisions just stunk that battleship crazy.
Yeah. Here's who not to do that with. Yeah.
Have you guys heard there's a company in San Francisco that I'm not going to name because I don't like what they're doing, but their mission is to eliminate work. That's what they say.
Work or humans?
They're going to eliminate work. No one's going to have a job. That's what they're in.
Hate that shit.
Well, because when they were
have to eliminate debt, eliminate creditors,
every
car
one
payments
of my
and shit. Like
every one of my neighbors that are retired say, "Stop saying the W word."
This is like really kind of typical of the whole AI vibe right now. Their answer to that is it'll work itself out.
Oh yeah.
You know,
trickle down economics. Sure, thanks.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
But
I don't mind eliminating the work that we don't want to do. So, like, I personally don't have difficulty if it's something that we're not good at, like just not good at all, or something we just as a species just we're not good at it. Whatever that may be, if a technology can come along and take that over, great. But eliminating all work until you have a replacement for like what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to survive, I think is irresponsible.
Let me ask you guys one more question.
Sure.
What is it that really has your attention right now? regarding the use of AI in HR and talent acquisition. Is there any one thing that you're really keeping an eye on?
You want me to
William?
go first, or
Sure.
Oh, you can go first, Ryan. You should
I'll
go
go
first.
first?
Ryan, you should go first.
I
Yeah,
should go first.
you
I
should.
should. I'll be quick, Mark. Don't you worry. Um, sorry,
I've heard that before.
yeah, I got 30
Hours
seconds.
ago. Yeah.
That's what she said.
Honestly, yeah. So specifically to recruiting and TA, I'll stay there. I'm really tracking that there's an entire subset of companies that we all know and love that are AI, but I don't believe they are. And they don't believe that they are
Right.
at all. These are chatbots and a whole bunch of these surfacing type of tools, resume screeners, matching tools, chatbots that are built off of logic, and they're hoping to be something. I don't know what that is. I'm tracking that now, and it's really interesting to me because they've hung on for a long time.
Yep.
And I don't know how much longer they're going to hang on. And there's dozens of them that are out there, probably 10, 12 of them that are significant companies in our space.
And some of them have raised a lot of money.
A lot of money, like over 100 million, a lot of money. And I don't see how they get acquired because they don't have true AI and they're not enabling TA to manage skills and all of that stuff. They're just surfacing stuff, like stuff that you and I can go build leveraging a chat GPT or something like that. And a lot of them are actually just using that, right? They're just surface leveling it and building on top of that. And that's not what this industry needs. And unfortunately, I think we're going to see a slaughterhouse soon on those companies.
Or a sell-off. So
Yeah.
VCs and PEs are a lot like the mob. At one point, they want their money back.
Yeah.
So they'll give you $30 million for a Series C, whatever. But at one point, they want their money back. Now, if they have to sell it at a discount to get you acquired by somebody to get some return on their money, they will. So that's, I think, some of the things you're going to see is at the board level, they're going to say, hey, enough with this. We've been rolling for 9 years. It's still not profitable. We've got 120 million into it, and we can sell it for 100. Let's get some of our return back. That's a win. So I think that's what you're going to see is it's going to be a fire sale, garage sale type thing. Mark, the thing that I'm looking at right now is Workday's and HireScore's lawsuit and the ramifications of that lawsuit. First of all, I think it's a bad precedent. I think it's a horrible precedent. I think they have a horrible judge. And I think that they'll appeal, of course. But the idea that you now give us the entire client list of everyone that's used HireScore and let's go and look and see if they were biased. Recruiting has always been biased. I mean, since the beginning of recruiting, it's been since the beginning of humanity, if you like, it's always been biased. This is a different type of bias. And the fact that they're not punishing the company that bought the software for the bias, they're punishing the software company that made the software. I think is a really dangerous precedent because it's going to make a lot of people, it's going to slow down. Like COVID sped up a lot of things in work, that we would have taken us a long time to get to those places. This lawsuit, if it goes through and it actually goes all the way to the Supreme Court and they lose, it's actually going to make software vendors, scratch that, practitioners more paranoid about implementing AI. And so it's going to actually slow down the adoption and buying of AI. So, which is not good for anybody. We should be with reckless abandon, we should be putting our foot on the gas and trying stuff and just seeing how it plays out. Again, if it's biased, okay, well, let's fix it. It's an algorithm. It can be fixed.
Yeah. We did, William, we did a story a long time ago on joint employer, I think it was.
Co-employment.
Yeah, where, the agencies were responsible for all of this stuff. And it's the same thing. Did you know the HireScore is like 40% owns 40% of the Fortune 100s?
Oh yeah,
Not owns, but they're like
they're
they
embedded.
have reach in the
Well,
40% of
well
Fortune 100s.
that's Workday.
Yeah, well, Workday, sure, yeah,
Yeah,
through Workday, yeah.
yeah. I don't know how many of those folks they had on their own prior to the acquisition, but Mark, I'm
Mhm.
looking at that as if that gets dismissed, which I believe it will. If
Mhm.
it gets to the Supreme Court, you have a Supreme Court that would never let that go forward, in my opinion. Just because it's a very conservative, business-friendly court at this particular moment in time, they just say no, go away. They dismiss it. I actually hope that that happens because I want the practitioner to go, oh, okay, we can do stuff with AI. We can try pilots. We can test things. We can see. We can try things rather than to retrench and go, you know what? I'm really scared about being sued. I'm really scared about the software firm being sued. I'm really scared. FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That's no good for practitioners. They need to be innovating and throwing new stuff against the wall all the time just to get there. So I'm looking at that. It's going to take 5-6 years to kind of play through the whole system.
Sure.
But the judge that they have right now is not Workday friendly. And so I think that that's not going to go their way. At the end of the day, I think they're going to get ruled against.
Okay.
And then they'll quickly appeal. They're already working on their appeal.
Oh, sure.
Come on now. No one feels sorry for Workday. They've got tons of lawyers.
Mhm.
They'll be fine. But it's the precedent that really terrifies me.
Yeah. Well, on that happy note,
Yeah.
gentlemen, thanks both for being here. This is sort of a grand experiment. We'll see how it plays on YouTube. But William Tincup, Ryan Leary of WRKDefined, you can find their network at WRKDefined.com. I'm Mark Pfeffer, editor and publisher of WorkforceAI.news. This is People Tech. Thanks for watching.